Going on. Good day. Good eye, good eye, I'm live. I'm gonna go over some not chemistry, but in music. Right. I'm just gonna go over some stuff for section 1 of the written paper. I know no one's watching this, so yeah. I'm just doing this for myself, kind of. I will go over the Beatles just quickly after. Right, so I've got quite a few sheets of paper just lying around. I'm gonna go through everything, alright? So in the Brook period of music, it's a small orchestra, which involves of a trumpet, oboe, bassoons, string, and continuo. Textures include monophonic, homophonic, melody accompaniment, and polyphonic. It involves melisma, SATB choir, which is soprano, alto, tenor, and bass choir. Dramatic silence, diatonic chords, hemiola, ornamentation, cadences. For classical period of time, transposing instruments, band phrases, key changes, pedal notes, melody and accompaniment, texture, crescendo, diminuendo, and primary chords, which are 1, 4, and 5. Romantic piano of Chopin, and I didn't say that name right, whatever. And I don't know how to say the other guy's name. I'm not going to say his name because I don't know how to say it. Sustain pedal, virtuosic playing, rubato, crescendo, diminuendo, wide pitch range, lots of modulation, and arpeggios. For the romantic requiem, there's the same lyrics, dramatic dynamics, dissonance, chromatic, wide pitch range, and conjunct melodies. For Broadway music, which is often played by an orchestra, it has extended chords, solo singers which are highly trained because it's very difficult music to perform, and chorus. Wide-ranging dynamics, heavy syncopation, varying complement, including arpeggios, broken chords, repeating pedal notes, syncopated block chords, and strummed chords on a guitar, for example. Rock music, use of primary chords 1, 4, and 5. Heavy focus on electric guitar and the drums, drum kit. Synths and studio techniques were explored, like multi-tracking, overdubbing, reverb, delay, reduction, mixing, gyro input, stuff like that. Use of samples, use of riffs, power chords, which is the tonic and the dominant chord note, tonic and the dominant note in the chord. So basically, you just take out the third note, and you got a power chord. Distortion on guitar as a studio technique that they often add after in the studio, or you can even have a pedal that can make you have distortion. Right, next sheet. That is sheet number 1 done. 3 minutes into the stream. Doing well. Right, no one's watching, but who cares? I'm doing this for myself and myself only. Alright. I've got a cold as well. Film and computer music, use of a large orchestra, focus on a leitmotif, which is a repeating pattern that is repeated a lot in film music. Like, I don't know any examples. Lord of the Rings, probably. No, that's not a video game. That's film. Actually, yeah, film and computer game. I don't know any examples on the top of my head, but I don't need to know that for the GCSE. Wide range of timbre, use of synths, use of suspension chords, so like sus chords, like sus2, sus4, that kind of thing. Mix of acoustic and electronic instruments, loops, pedals, ostinatos, which are short repeated patterns, and dissonance. 90s pop, melisma, reverb / delay, 2 and 4 beats emphasized, which is called a backbeat, a conjunct melody, simple chords, heavily produced, 4 on the floor, drum beats usually, to keep it like lively, hooks, and riffs / loops. Orchestral music of, I really don't know how to pronounce these people's names, Coley and Bartox, probably butchered their names. Involves snap, pizzicato, dissonance, extreme ranges of notes and unusual note grouping, such as 3 notes and then 2 notes and then 3 notes and then maybe like 5 notes and 4, I don't know, something weird like that. Minimalist music, Diatonic harmony, ostinato, layered textures, unusual combo on instruments, motifs, syncopation, strong pulse, cross rhythms, and broken chords. Yeah, so that's about minimalist music. Blues music, blue notes, 12-bar structure, syncopation, portamento, 2 and 4 beats accented, walking bass line, chromaticism, swung rhythms, chord response, and 7th chords. For reggae, it's from Jamaica. Syncopated bass line, 1 drop drum beat, swung rhythms, primary chords 1, 4, and 5 once again, and a bubble rhythm. For African fusion, there's a combo of African and Western instruments. Harmonized vocals, call and response, polyrhythms, and primary chords 1, 4, and 5 once again. Contemporary Latin music, there's lots of syncopation, homophonic texture, usually distortion, double tracking, improvised feel, pitch bends. For salsa, you have 3-2 or 2-3 clave pattern, verse chorus, and for tango, we got syncopated, ostinato, and uses accented notes. Oh, we got a viewer. Oh, Jack Knight in the chat. Cheers. Thank you for giving me luck. I need it. Music's a good subject, so nice for commenting. I didn't even realise there were people watching, honestly. Thank you for the good luck. I'll need it. Obviously, I'm halfway through GCSEs. I didn't actually have an exam today, but yeah. I don't know which one of Has Gaming or Jack Knight are still watching, but hi. What we at? Contemporary folk music of the British Isles, acoustic chords, which is strumming, banjo, pluck chords, mandolin, melodic tremolo picking, double bass, pizzicato, ornamentation in the melody, anacrusis, lyrics tell the story, and also uses piano and drums. 20th century British music, dissonance, chanting, unusual time signatures, tremolo on the strings. Very strange pieces of music they are. They're not very good, in my opinion. They're very strange. Right, moving over to the Beatles. So, we're going to go over technology used, because I really hope that question does come up tomorrow. I just really do it does hype come up, because I make my own music. I'm a fan of music tech, so Epic Games. So technology available in the 60s includes use of overdubbing in the vocals, close miking, direct input, automatic double tracking, amps, reverb / delay, reduction mixing, panning, mellotron, Leslie speaker. What else have I? Vary speeding. There's loads of different effects they could use and write about in the exam. So hopefully that question does come up, because that'd be a very nice 8 marks. And music's actually a really easy GCSE when you think about it for the written exam. It's mainly just facts. You don't have to write essays. It's not actually that difficult to learn, actually. So yeah, it's pretty nice. So, right. So we're going to go over the question, how does Within You Without You sound relaxed and unconventional? This is by the use of pitch bends, mainly in the sitar, dilruba, and tempura, legato singing style, vocal slides, rubato, slow tempo with 5/4 time signature. There's weird lyrics, abstract lyrics. Sighing motif on the dilruba, glissando on the small mandal, imitation between vocals and dilruba, and there's lots of decorated passages. That's pretty cool. Recording techniques in Lucy in the Sky Diamonds, automatic double tracking, overdubbing, reverb and delay, use of a Lowry organ, double tracking in the vocals, Leslie speaker, mellotron, reduction mixing, vary speeding, direct input. How does Lucy in the Sky Diamonds sound dreamy and hypnotic? I feel like this would be an interesting question if it did come up. So yeah, it changes time signature. It uses a Leslie speaker. Uses reverb and delay. Got abstract lyrics. Limited and repetitive melody range, because obviously the guy singing Ringo Starr has a very limited vocal range. So yeah, repetition of the same note in the pre-chorus, repetitive organ ostinatos, pitch bends on the guitar, 3/4 unconventional time signature, which just moved to 4/4 in the chorus of the song. Drone on tempora and the use of a mellotron, which is kind of in the background. Explain the Eastern and Western influences within you without you. There's a use of sitar, which adds decoration of the melody. Uses of a mode, the raga mode. So yeah, rather than major and minor scales and mixodylion. Oh, and we have another viewer back in the chat watching. Hello, welcome to the stream. I'm going over GCSE music, AQA. Nice. Currently, I'm just going over 8-mark Beatles questions, and then we're going to go over a little bit over Haydn in a bit. So yeah, we've covered section A of the exam already, so epic. Cameron, this is lit. Epic. Enjoy the stream, Cameron. So we got explain the Eastern and Western influences within you without you. Use of sitar, which is added decoration of the melody. Use of a mode, which is the raga mode. Thank you for saying. Hope you do well, because hopefully I will. Music is a good GCSE to do if you're in a younger year, like year 9 or year 8. Choosing the options, it's good GCSE. Nice exam. So yeah, man. Use of a Tyler rhythm on the tablas. Drone on the tempora. Glissandos on the swan mandal. Verse chorus structure. Electric guitars. Styling motif on the Dilruba. Hindu philosophy on the lyrics, and there's a use of a melodic hook. Cameron says, yeah, he chose music. Good to know, dude. Music is very a good GCSE. I don't know what year you're in or whatever, but you'll like it. It's a good GCSE. You do lots of fun stuff. How does the Beatles create a unique and innovative sound with a little help from my friends? Now, I do believe this was actually the 8-marker for last year's paper. I can actually check that. I can check. Actually, because I've got a copy of last year's paper that I have done. This is not the one I did in the mock. But yeah. And Cameron left the stream. Epic. One and only viewer. Explain how the Beatles use musical elements to transform the basically simple. Okay, it was basically the innovative question, I guess. Kind of. Epic. Right. So how does the Beatles create a unique and innovative sound with a little help from my friends? Intro chords move C, D, E to establish the key of the song. Harmonies in thirds, tonality of E major, inverted chord and response between vocalists and backing vocalists. Limited range, because Ringo has a limited range in his vocals. Chorus varies on each return. Steady rhythms in the chords, more rhythmic variety in the melody and the bass. Syncopation in the main melody, chromatic movement in the melody. Contrast solo verses and harmonized choruses. Use of a shuffle rhythm, and it's in 4/4, which is quite an easy mark actually, which is actually pretty interesting because you can get an easy mark for literally saying it's in 4/4, 3/4, depending on the song, really. So that's pretty cool. Technology I've already gone over. So yeah, that's basically it for the Beatles. I will now go over and switch. All these resources, by the way, are given to me by teachers from school. Apart from these, I made these two. These are just my notes, really. This was from school. Well, the table was from school, but I put it in. It's pretty epic. Right. I'm going to go over Haydn Symphony now. Now, this is a beast question, usually. Another 8-marker and a few other smaller questions about Haydn. It's not too bad, but it's generally I think it's probably the hardest part of the paper for many people. The Beatles isn't too bad because that's fairly easy, but yeah, we've got Haydn. We're going to go over Haydn. I'm just going to put my phone on Do Not Disturb real quick. And then we're going to get into it. Alright, I am repping the Spain shirt. I don't actually come from Spain or support Spain. I just like the shirt. Right, no one's watching. Epic. Right, so for the melody. The main theme is 9 bars long in 2 phrases. It's heard in various forms as he develops it. Heard first in the violins and then later in the flute and then other instruments. Clear balanced phrasing. There is a double dotted motif which is used in sequence. Some chromatic movement in the melodies. In section B, there's a syncopated arpeggio melody which is played in sequence. Only ornamentations is an acciaccatura. Melodies are mainly stepwise, and which is conjunct, same thing as conjunct. As an inversion in A2, section A2, and the strings play the melodies, just like because that's a classical characteristic in the clock symphony. Woodwind also do play counter melodies in the second A section, so that's pretty cool. For harmony, it's just diatonic harmony, major and minor chords, mainly perfect and imperfect cadences. Pedals in the flute, oboes, and a few string instruments here and there. Pedals in the flute. Oh, I literally just said that. Bass provided by lower strings and timpani. The timpani is tuned to G and D, I believe. Yeah, I don't actually know that. Mid-range instruments provide inner harmony. Tonality in A, it's in G, in B, it's in G minor, and then in A2, it goes back to G major. Texture in section A, melody and complement. B, polyphonic, and A2 is polyphonic again. And there's also a 1 bar silence somewhere in A2. I'm not exactly sure what bar number, but you don't exactly need to know that for your GCSE. Ticking motif on rhythm, ticking on beat, quaver rhythms, dotted notes, double dotted notes, syncopation, triplets, sextuplets, and demi-semi-quavers. Dynamics and articulation, it ranges from piano to forte, and it goes to very quiet to very loud. Crescendos and diminuendos, very quick changing, and there's many staccato notes and slurs. Now, the classical characteristics that are in Haydn that is same for all classical music. Balanced 4 bar phrases, violins carry the melody, theme, narrow range, slide and staccato articulation, clear structure, sense of symmetry, dynamics are clear but not wide ranging, clear homophonic and melody and complement texture, typical classical diatonic major minor harmonies, mostly perfect and imperfect cadences, frequent use of the chord dominant 7th, typical classical orchestra, which is in Haydn it's 2T, typical ABA structure which is called ternary, use of crescendo and diminuendo. Now for timbre, second violins and cellos play the ticking motif in the opening. Pizzicato adds a ticking feel. Timbre is string dominated, opening the melody on the first violins. Brass adds a warmth to the timbre. Brass augments and fill out the harmonies. Brass also support cadence points. Brass adds to the effect of the FF sections. Timpani tuned to tonic and dominant G and D. I got it right earlier. Epic games. Horns and clarinets and transposing instruments don't play in the same key signature. Now that might be a question that comes up. What are the transposing instruments? I'm not actually sure if that came up last year. I'm thinking it might have. So I recognise the question. Anyone in the chat? No, of course not. No, there's no question last year on transposing instruments. So That could be easy 2 marks, really. Horns, clarinets. To the low people watching this. Epic. Yeah, cool. And finally, last thing on the stream, 20 minutes in. The ways that Joseph Haydn manipulates, develops, changes the melody. Or the theme. So he changes the interval of the first notes. So he does an octave leap instead of a sixth. The theme is heard with wider intervals, basically. Theme is heard in a new key, in A2. Adding triplets and sextuplets of passing notes to the theme in A2 creates intensity. Opening two phrases start the same but end differently. Fragments of the theme are used in variation and development. Controllers are used to create a variation. Heard on different instruments. Ticking motif heard on different instruments. Theme heard in sequence and inversion. Use of pitted arco, staccato, and slurs add colour and interest. Theme heard with a variety of thick/thin textures. Changes the instrument it is played on. Violas change to playing triple stop chords. Adds an inverted pedal in the oboe. Alternates between piano and forte dynamics. And use of chromaticism in section A2. Now, that is all the notes I've got. That is literally everything you need to know for the pieces, Haydn and all that. A few extra things maybe, I don't know. There's sampling in with a little help from my friends with the Billy Shears at the start. Cheering from the audience, which is also links in from the previous song, because yeah, it's very interesting. Syncopated and strong rhythms in the melody for a little help from my friends. That's it for that. I think I've covered most things for that. Lucy in the Sky Diamonds. Verses in A, F. Pre-chorus plus bridge is in F. The chorus is in G. Verse in 3/4, chorus in 4/4. Strange lyrics. Disjunct melody. Ostinatos. Within You, Without You. Uses a Kamar Javaga. Starts with an lap. A slow introduction without a clear rhythm. The instrumental section is actually 35 bars long. And it ends on an unresolved chord. And hello to the person that just joined the stream. You joined right at the end. GG. Don't know who you are, obviously, but like, oh, they left. Ha. And God, I thought I had someone in the stream. Oh well, I'm ending it now anyway. I've finished literally everything. I've gone over everything. Technology, section A, Haydn, Beatles, literally so much. So yeah. So tomorrow's 1 o'clock, AQA Music. Yeah, I hope it's just gonna go well. Thank you for the very limited people that did join at some point and leave a comment and whatever. I'll see you in the next video. Peace. Epic.